Hello and welcome. In this video tutorial, I'm going to update the Pacific Trails Resort website using the existing Pacific Trails website files from Chapter 10 as my starting point to create a new version of the website. You will want to work through all of the hands-on practice examples in this chapter to gain a thorough understanding of multimedia and interactive elements. In this chapter's case study, we will complete 4 tasks. First, I'm going to download the Chapter 11 folder that can be found in Canvas. So I'm going to minimize my screen, and I already have my Canvas software open. I'm in the Chapter 11 assignment, and right here where it says Chapter 11 Pacific.zip, I'm going to go ahead and click on this, and it's going to go ahead and download. Once it's completed, I'm going to go out to my desktop, and I'm going to right-click on this, and I'm going to go to my 7-zip software, and I'm going to go ahead and extract the files. And I'm just going to put it on my desktop. I'm going to go ahead and throw that one in the trash, and I'm going to open up my CIS 152 folder. I'm going to create a new folder called just Chapter 11. I'm going to double click on this, and I'm just going to drop the Chapter 11 folder into the Chapter 11 Pacific folder into the Chapter 11 folder. Now I do need the files from Chapter 10, so I'm going to go to Chapter 10. I'm going to open up the Chapter 10 Pacific. I don't want to take the entire folder. I'm just going to click on the images, hold down the Shift key, select them all, right click. I'm going to copy them. I'm going to go to my CIS 152 folder, Chapter 11, Chapter 11 Pacific, and I'm going to right click and paste. Now I did notice that I had a Mac OS X. I'm going to just right click, and I'm just going to delete that because I don't need that. It looks like I have this a little bit nested here. Chapter 11, yep, I do have it nested. I'm going to fix this. I'm going to cut, go to this one. I'm going to paste, delete. All right, so I have my files in my Chapter 11 folder and my Chapter 11 Pacific folder. I'm on task number 2, and I'm going to configure a navigation transition with CSS. So I'm going to open up my Pacific CSS file, and I'm going to look where it says Nav A. So on line 42, you can see that I have my nav and then my A tag. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go after the text decoration, and I'm going to type in a transition. So I'm going to type in transition, and I'm going to use the color property as what I'm targeting, 3 seconds, and I'm going to use ease out. I'm going to go ahead and save this, and I'm going to go ahead and minimize this. I'm going to go to my CIS 152 folder, Chapter 11, Chapter 11 Pacific. I'm going to go to my index file. I'm going to right click, and I'm going to open in Firefox. Now you can see that I'm missing my images right here, so let's go in and take a look at that. So there's CH9, and what I'd like to do is just go ahead and go to Find, Replace in Files with CH11. I'm going to save this file. Go back to my browser and refresh. Alright, so now my images are there, and when I hover over my links, you can see that there's a little slight transition for the color. I don't know how well it's going to show on the screen because it's kind of definitely a light ease out and ease in. Alright, let's go back into brackets. And I'm going to work on task 3 now, which is configuring the video that we're going to add to our index.html file. So I'm going to go ahead and open up my index.html file. And it states in the directions that we're going to start right after the H2 element. So for me, it's on line 28. I'm just going to go ahead and put in a couple of returns there, and I'm going to jump back up to line 29. The new HTML5 video element supports native play of video files in the browser without the need for plugins or players. The video element begins with the video tag and ends with the video tag. So I'm going to go ahead and type in video. And right away, when I typed in video, it came up with source, but we're going to use multiple sources for this. I'm just going to go ahead and remove this source for right now. And I'm going to type in controls. And I'm going to type in controls as the value. And the next attribute that I'm going to use is poster. So the image that I'm going to use is in my images folder. So I'm going to type in images. And I'm going to look for Pacific Trails Resort JPEG. Now if you go back to your Canvas Blackboard Chapter 11 assignment, you'll see that I added in this image for you. I'm going to go ahead and add in another attribute, and I'm just going to go to the next line and type in width. And it's going to be 320. And the height is going to be 240. And I'm going to go ahead and close that with the right angle bracket. So notice I have a right angle bracket right here on line 32, so I want to go ahead and make sure that I remove that now so that I don't end up with an error. I'm going to go ahead and type in source and then source. And it's in my video folder, so I'm going to make sure that I type in video. And the one that I'm going to look for is the Pacific Trails Resort MP4. So the first one right there. And the type is going to be video MP4. And I want to close that. The source element is a self-contained or void tag that specifies a multimedia file and a MIM type. The source attribute identifies the file name of the media file. The type attribute indicates the MIM type of the file. So the code that we typed in here, type, and then equals, and then I typed in video MP4, is for video files that use the MP4 codec. The codec is an algorithm used to compress the media. There is no single codec that is supported by all popular browsers. This is why we're going to add in one more source element. So I'm going to type in source, and it's going to be video. And it's going to be the Pacific Trails Resort with the extension OGV. And the type is going to be video OGG. And I'm going to go ahead and close that. And I'm going to also add in a Swift file. So I'm going to use the embed element, and the type is going to be application, X shockwave flash, and my source is going to be video, and it's going to be the Pacific Trails Resort, the .swf, so the Swift file. And I'm going to give this a width of 320 and a height of 240, and I'm also going to give it a title. And I'm going to go ahead and save this. So I'm going to do Control S. I'm going to go back out to my browser, and I'm going to go ahead and refresh. Now, I don't have any styles in here, but that's okay. I just want to see how this looks for right now. This image right here is my placeholder image. All right, so my video is working. I'm going to go ahead and add in some styles. I'm going to go back into brackets. I'm going to go to my Pacific CSS file, and I'm going to go right before my media query that's on line 160, and it says code the CSS above the media queries to configure the style rule for the video element selector and embed element selector as follows. So we're going to go ahead and float that. So I'm going to type in video and embed, because these are the property selectors, and I'm going to type in FR for float right, and PL20 and tab for padding left, 20 pixels. I'm going to save this. I just want to make sure that I have floated my element correctly. Okay, well, I've got something going on here, but I'm missing my text. So I'm going to go back and see what I've done incorrectly. So I'm going to go back to my index.html file. I know exactly what I've done wrong. You can see on line 34, I'm missing that closing angle bracket right there. So I'm going to save this, and let's see if that works better. All right, so that did fix my problem. You can also go ahead and run your file through the W3C validator to correct and test your work. All right, so I'm going to go back into brackets. I know I have this correct now. And I'm going to go to task 4, and I'm going to configure the image gallery. And I'm going to go ahead and open up the activities HTML file. On line 39, right above the closing main element, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add in a div, and it's going to be pound gallery. And I'm just going to select tab. So it gives me a div ID of gallery. And inside of that, I'm going to type in the figure tag. And inside of that, I'm going to do UL li times 4. And I'm just going to do A, and it gives me the href. I'm going to type in photo2.jpg, and I'm going to type in img, and then the source is going to be thumb2.jpg, and my alt information is going to be rocky coastline. I'm also going to give this a width, and it doesn't matter what order this is in, but I'm just going to keep it as the book indicates, width and a height. And the height's going to be 75. So make sure you have that space in there or this won't display correctly. And my JPEG. Before the closing A tag, I'm going to type in span, tab, and I'm going to type in image, tab, source is going to be photo 2 JPEG. And the width on this one is going to be 200. And the height is going to be 150. And I'm going to type in my alternative tag as rocky coastline. And I'm going to put in a break tag. So just BR and then tab. And I'm going to type in rocky coastline. Now I'm going to save this, and I just want to take a look at this. I actually, in the figure tag, I didn't want to put my unordered list in here. I actually wanted this closing figure tag. I'm going to cut this, Control X, and I'm going to put it back where it belongs, and it belongs up here on line 41. And actually, I wanted a property to go between this, and it's going to be an image, IMG, and the source is going to be photo2.jpg. And I'm going to declare a width of 200 and a height of 150. And I'm going to type in an alt tag of scenic view. And I'm just going to save this, and I want to test this page in my browser. So I'm going to go out to Firefox. I'm going to click on my activities. And I want to scroll down to the bottom, and I want to see what's going on right now. And I know exactly what's wrong. What's wrong is that these files are actually in the, so I'm going to type in gallery, and I'm going to do the same thing for, and the same thing for this one, and the first one. And I'm going to go ahead and save those, go back out to my browser and refresh. All right, so it's looking a little bit better. We still have some work to do, and we have some CSS style. I just wanted to make sure that my images were coming in here correctly. I'm going to go back to brackets, and I'm going to update the rest of this. I'm going to go ahead, and I'm just going to put this list item on its own line right there. I'm just going to highlight this, Control C, and I'm just going to paste over top of it. And instead of gallery photo 2, I'm going to make this a 3, and the thumbnail is going to be a 3, and the alternative text is going to be sunset on the coast, sunset on the coast. I want to make sure that I change this to 3. And after the break tag, I got to make sure I have this in there correctly. I don't want to lose any of that tag. I'm going to type in clouds moving in on the coast. All right, I'm just going to save this. I want to just test my work. Go out to my browser and refresh. Okay, perfect. So here's my first image. That's the figure image. And then this is the thumb, and this is the larger image. I'm going to go ahead and go back to brackets. I'm going to copy this again, Control C, and I'm going to paste, and this time it's going to be photo 4, thumb 4, and instead of sunset on the coast, I'm going to type in waterfall near Big Sur. Just going to copy that, paste it down here in the other alt. Make sure that I change this to photo 4. And I'm going to type in the same thing right here. I'm going to just highlight that. Waterfall near Big Sur. All right, I'm going to save this, Control S. If you'd like to take a look at it, go ahead and check that out in your browser. Okay, the last one, I'm going to copy this, Control C, Control V. So I'm going to use photo 6 though. Photo 6. And this is going to be sunset on the coast. I'm going to just copy that, Control C. Copy this in here. Make sure that I'm using photo 6. I'm going to save that. Go back to my browser, refresh. Okay, perfect. I'm going to go to my Pacific CSS style sheet, and I'm going to use the CSS style rules that are from the Hands-On Practice 11.8 in your book. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to type in, after my video and my embed selector, I'm going to go ahead and start typing in these rules. The first one is going to be gallery, and it's going to have a position of relative, and it's going to have a height of 200. I'm going to add in the gallery UL, and it's going to have a list style type none, and a width of 300. Okay. I'm going to do the gallery list items, and I'm going to display inline, and I'm going to float left, and I'm going to have padding of 10 pixels all the way around. So you can see I have an error right here because this is a different color, so I'm missing the closing semicolon on line 173. So I'm going to do gallery image, and I want to be specific because I only want to do the gallery image and not any images that are on my page. And this is going to be border style none. So I don't want any border around it. And I'm going to put in a new rule. It's going to be gallery A, and it's going to be text decoration none, font style italic, and color is black. I'm going to go ahead and select that gallery span tag that I added in there, and it's going to be position absolute, and it's going to be left and it's going to be -1000 pixels. And I'm going to put in an opacity of 0 and a transition opacity, 3 seconds, ease in, out. So now I'm going to go ahead and affect the gallery hover, but the span tag. I'm going to do position absolute, top of 16, left of 320, and opacity of 1. Now I'm going to go ahead and target the figure element. I'm going to select position absolute, left 280, and opacity of 0.25. Okay, I think I have all my styles in. I'm going to save this, and I'm going to go back out to my browser, and I'm going to refresh. Now when I hover over each one of these, you'll see that this image over here will change, and there's a slight opacity to it. So if I hover over this one, so waterfall, and then this one, sunset on the coast. On the left-hand side, it shows the initial display of the gallery with a semi-opaque placeholder image on the right-hand side. So when you place your mouse over the thumbnail image, the larger version of that image is gradually displayed along with the caption that we added. Now, if you click on the thumbnail image, it's going to open in its own browser. There are light boxes that are used by jQuery that you could use as well. This video tutorial completes the Pacific Trails Resort website, adding multimedia and interactive elements. Please make sure you validate your HTML files and your CSS style sheet. Test all of your work in a browser before you upload your folders and files to your web hosting company. Thank you.